Welcome back to XRP Economic Radar, your trusted source for the latest developments shaping the cryptocurrency market and the global economic landscape. Today, we are covering a major geopolitical story that could have significant implications for Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and the broader digital asset market. A fresh wave of tension in the Middle East has suddenly raised concerns among investors after former U.S. President Donald Trump publicly criticized Israel's latest military actions. At a time when markets were hoping for stability and a possible diplomatic breakthrough involving Iran, new developments have introduced fresh uncertainty. Crypto traders around the world are now closely watching whether rising geopolitical risks could slow the momentum that major cryptocurrencies had been building over the past several days. The story began after Israel launched a new series of strikes targeting Beirut's southern suburbs. The attacks took place on a day when expectations were growing around a potential diplomatic agreement involving the United States and Iran. According to reports, many observers believed that an announcement regarding a more permanent understanding between the two nations could be made soon. However, the latest military action has complicated an already delicate situation. Global investors had been hoping for signs of reduced tensions in the region because stability in the Middle East often helps support confidence across financial markets. Instead, the latest events have injected a fresh layer of uncertainty into an environment that was already facing multiple challenges. Donald Trump reacted quickly to the developments and expressed unusually strong criticism of Israel's actions. In a message shared on Truth Social, Trump stated that the attack should not have happened, especially on what he described as a significant day when a peace agreement with Iran appeared to be within reach. Trump emphasized that while Israel has the right to defend itself against threats, he believed the specific incident that prompted the response was relatively minor and should not have interfered with broader diplomatic efforts. His comments immediately attracted international attention because they highlighted concerns that military escalation could undermine ongoing negotiations and delay progress toward regional stability. At the same time, reports from the region presented a more complex picture. Lebanon's civil defense authorities indicated that the attacks resulted in casualties and injuries. According to reports cited by international media outlets, at least 3 people were killed and several others were wounded. These reports added another dimension to the situation, raising concerns about the humanitarian impact of the conflict, as well as its potential political consequences. Whenever military tensions increase in a strategically important region, financial markets tend to react quickly. Investors often move away from riskier assets and seek safer alternatives until greater clarity emerges. This pattern has been observed repeatedly throughout history, and cryptocurrency markets are no exception. Trump also reinforced his previous statements regarding a possible agreement between the United States and Iran. He maintained that discussions were progressing toward a deal and suggested that all parties involved should take steps to reduce tensions rather than escalate them further. In his public message, he encouraged restraint from both Israel and Hezbollah, arguing that diplomacy offered the best path toward lasting peace. The comments reflected a broader concern that any additional military activity could derail negotiations before meaningful progress is achieved. For market participants, the possibility of a diplomatic breakthrough had represented a potentially positive catalyst, particularly because it could help stabilize a region that plays a critical role in global energy supplies. One of the reasons investors were paying close attention to these diplomatic developments is the importance of the Strait of Hormuz. This strategic waterway serves as one of the world's most important routes for oil transportation. Any disruption in the area can have significant effects on energy prices, inflation expectations, and overall market sentiment. Hopes that regional tensions might ease had contributed to a more optimistic outlook among some investors. A peaceful resolution could potentially improve confidence in global markets and reduce concerns about supply disruptions. That optimism was one of several factors supporting risk assets, including cryptocurrencies, before the latest escalation emerged. In the cryptocurrency market, traders had been cautiously optimistic during the previous trading sessions. Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and several other major digital assets recorded modest gains as investors responded positively to the possibility of diplomatic progress. Market participants viewed the potential for reduced geopolitical risk as a supportive factor for digital assets, which often perform better when overall investor confidence improves. While the gains were not dramatic, they reflected a growing belief that favorable macroeconomic conditions could create room for further upside. However, That optimism faced a sudden challenge once news of the attacks and Trump's response began circulating across financial markets. Bitcoin initially climbed to approximately $64,800 earlier in the day, demonstrating continued strength after several recent sessions of positive performance. However, as concerns about renewed geopolitical tensions spread, the leading cryptocurrency lost momentum and slipped back below $64,000. Although the decline was relatively modest, it highlighted how sensitive digital assets can be to major international events. Traders often reassess their positions when uncertainty rises, especially when developments involve regions that influence global energy markets and broader economic conditions. As a result, Bitcoin's progress temporarily stalled as investors evaluated the potential implications of the unfolding situation. Ethereum also experienced pressure as sentiment weakened. The second largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization declined by more than 1% following the news. While Ethereum remains supported by strong long-term interest from both institutional and retail participants, short-term market movements are frequently influenced by global events and shifts in investor confidence. When uncertainty increases, traders may reduce exposure to volatile assets regardless of their long-term outlook. This dynamic appeared to play a role in Ethereum's pullback, as market participants adjusted their expectations and waited for additional clarity regarding both geopolitical developments and broader market conditions. XRP faced even greater short-term weakness as the asset dropped roughly 2% and moved down toward the $1.13 level. The decline came after another unsuccessful attempt to break above the important resistance area near $1.15. Technical traders had been closely watching this level because a successful breakout could have opened the door for further gains. Instead, the combination of market uncertainty and renewed geopolitical concerns contributed to selling pressure. While the move lower does not necessarily change XRP's longer-term outlook, it demonstrates how external events can influence market behavior even when asset-specific fundamentals remain largely unchanged. As the situation continues to develop, investors across the cryptocurrency market will be paying close attention to both diplomatic and military developments in the Middle East. Any signs of renewed negotiations, de-escalation, or progress toward a peace agreement could help restore confidence and support risk assets. On the other hand, further escalation could increase volatility and encourage a more cautious approach among traders. For now, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and the broader crypto market remain caught between optimism about future opportunities and concerns about rising geopolitical uncertainty. The coming days could prove critical in determining which narrative ultimately gains the upper hand. That's the latest update for today. Thank you for watching XRP Economic Radar. If you want more news, market insights, and breaking updates on XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the cryptocurrency industry, make sure to subscribe to XRP Economic Radar, like and share this video, and leave a comment below with your thoughts on these developments. Your support helps us bring you the latest news as it happens. We appreciate every viewer who joins our growing community, and we look forward to seeing you in the next update right here on XRP Economic Radar.